The new EC300 Echo Collection from McDSP is a flexible delay plugin with more than a few tricks up its sleeve that give it a lot of interesting character and color and personality. Let's take a quick look around the interface and then we'll put it to work. Now we have the delay toolbar at the bottom, and here we can switch between three different types of delay: magnetic delay, digital delay, and analog delay. And each accompanying delay type has several different characters that we can choose from. Now here we have the basic tempo controls that we're used to seeing in delay plugins. We can sync to the host tempo. I'll click that and it's synced to the host in Logic, or we can set a manually determined BPM over there, or we can tap to select a tempo that way. I'm going to sync to host for now. We can optionally offset the groove. We set the delay times over here, but we can offset the groove by percentage for some slight ahead or behind of the beat feel. I'm going to option click that to snap it back. And there's three different modes. We have a single delay mode, dual, where we can set the time independently for left and right, and a ping-pong mode where it moves from side to side. Now here we can set the feedback, the amount of the delay output that's fed back to the delay input. We have a mix control for dry and wet, and we have width control over here to control the stereo panning of delay 1 and delay 2 outputs. Now we can go to 0, which is mono, 100% is stereo, and then we can go above 100% for some pseudo stereo effects. We have an offset over here to offset the delay times, and again I'll option click to snap that back to 0. And we set the values here. We can set based on note values, again based on the tempo mode we're in here, and I can start by setting one to eighth. The other one we can set to time or note, so here I'll set this one to maybe quarter notes, and we can choose dotted or triplet here, and with nothing it's a straight value. So far this is pretty vanilla stuff, but now it's going to start getting interesting. We have a saturation knob which introduces a distortion that can overload the delay input, and that really is interesting on the delays that are generated. We can overload the input here and then drive up the saturation, and we can control the output here. And we have wow and flutter for low frequency modulation, magnetic tape style, and then this gives us the high frequency modulation. And then we can open the top up with this button here for some advanced controls. Now here we get dual delay adjustment controls. We can control the spread, the phase adjustment between left and right delay outputs. We can choose the balance over here, set it between delay 1 and 2, and there's a feedback balance between delay 1 and delay 2 feedbacks, and then the feedback mix. So we can really control how much of this feedback, particularly when it's saturated, we want in the signal. We have 3-band EQ here with a high pass filter, low pass, and then a fully parametric mid-range. And then we have some dynamics here. We can work in either compression mode or ducking mode with basic threshold, amount, and release. So I'm going to put this to work on a plucked string line. I'll start with this off. It's just a series of 3 quarter notes that are played over and over again at different pitches, and then we'll put it on and we'll adjust. Let's put some saturation in. We can adjust the balance of the feedback. And compression. And wow and flutter. Here it is clean. Mono. Stereo. That's the classic tape. Let's try some different characters. So they all have interesting variations to the tone. Let's look at digital mode. In this model, we have some expanded control over the modulation. There's pitch depth based on a definable LFO here, and we can add bit depth reduction to the distortion and saturation. And it gets really interesting in the expanded section where we have a more full-featured EQ, plus we can have it based on the sims that we find in Futzbox. So let's put this to work. I'll start in dual mode, and I'm synced to tempo, and I'll start by putting it at an eighth note or maybe a quarter note on this side, maybe a dotted quarter note, and on this side, we'll start with an eighth note. So this is a simple EQ or the sim mode. I'll put it on. And we can control where this comes in the feedback loop. Versus off. And dynamics. And that's without. So this is not your run-of-the-mill vanilla delay unit. Let's look at analog next. Here we've got similar basic controls, and in the expanded section, we've got modulation here and the feedback controls here, stereo width, and the dynamics here. And this has got some different qualities to the feedbacks and delays that it generates as well. Some real nice, gritty, dirty delays. And you can switch back and forth while they're playing with the same settings. So you can hear how they all have their different personalities. My verdict, this is a fantastic delay plugin that does a lot more than simple delays. It really colors and saturates and overdrives the generated repeats into the realm of sound design rather than simple delays and echoes. So that's the EC300 from McDSP. Check it out.